So let's see what's happening in the mouth. Okay, mouth and esophagus. In mouth, we can tell us there is two type of process. First one is mechanical process. Next one is chemical process. Okay, mechanical and chemical process. Mechanical process is happening with the help of teeth. Okay, mechanical process is happening with the help of teeth, and chemical process is happening with the help of enzyme. Now, what is enzyme? Enzyme is a catalyst, okay, biological catalyst. They will break down the food particle with the help of chemicals. Now, teeth, when we are eating the food, what will happen? We will chew the food with the help of teeth. Here we are physically breaking down the food particle, okay, or teeth mechanically break down food particle, and they will mix it with the saliva so that they will get the moisture. And this food particle is converting into soft bolus. Soft bolus. Here you can see this water, we will call it as bolus. Now, this what happening in the mechanical session. Now we have the chemical session. In chemical session, this saliva is produced by the help of salivary glands. Okay, saliva is produced with the help of salivary glands. We have three pairs of salivary glands in our mouth. Now, these salivary glands will produce saliva, and this saliva containing an enzyme called salivary amylase. Okay, remember the enzyme. This salivary amylase, they will break down the carbohydrate into simple sugar. Simple sugar can be maltose. Simple sugar can be maltose. So remember here in mouth we have two type of digestion. One is mechanical, another one is chemical. Mechanical is happening with the help of teeth. They will simply physically break down the food particle. Chemical process is happening with the help of enzyme called salivary amylase. Now let's see the esophagus. Okay, this esophagus is a long tube. It's a food pipe, or we can tell it's a muscular tube which connects mouth with your stomach. Here we have the mouth, here we have the stomach. So this mouth and stomach is connected with the help of esophagus. Esophagus is a tube. Now this soft bolus will pass through this esophagus. Now see, when it is passing, there is a particular movement for the muscles. That you can see here, there is a rhythmatic wave, muscular contraction and relaxation. This wave we will call it as peristalsis. Okay, so we can tell this bolus will pass through the esophagus with a movement called peristalsis movement. Here you can see this area. If you are seeing this esophagus, let's zoom this. When we are seeing this esophagus, you can see this area there is a contraction. This area is getting contracted, and this area is getting a relaxation or relaxing. Okay, so when they are relaxing, they will open this end, and when they are contrasting this area, they are going to close, so that this food particle will move towards the stomach. Now this is the peristaltis. Now imagine it's happening reverse. Instead of upside, we have the relaxation, and downside, when we have the contraction, we will get a reverse peristalsis. Okay, this reverse peristalsis is the reason for the vomiting. When we have the vomiting, we will do the reverse process of this peristalsis. So this is what happening in the mouth and esophagus. Now let's move towards the stomach. Okay, it is having the gastric gland. Now this gland will produce the gastric juice. Okay, this will produce the gastric juice. This gastric juice containing three elements: hydrochloric acid, mucus and pepsin. Here, this hydrochloric acid is having a pH value approximately 1.5 to 3.5. So it's a strong acid. Okay. So this strong acid, what they will do? They will convert the food medium into acidic. So this food will get mixed with this hydrochloric acid. So the food will convert into, or food medium is converting into acidic medium. And it will kill the harmful bacteria and break down the food particle into simple. We can see that in mouth already we have done the mechanical process, okay, with the help of teeth. But in some cases, this teeth is not able to break down the food particle. Okay, that case, this hydrochloric acid will melt the food components. Okay, because it's having a pH value of 1.5 to 3.5, which is a strong acid. Now we are converting the food medium into acidic. This is because we have an enzyme called pepsin. This pepsin will act only in the acidic medium. Now see, this pepsin, it's an enzyme. Okay, pepsin is an enzyme and they will break down the protein. They will break down the protein. We will call this as a peptidase. This peptidase again will convert into amino acid. So already you have learned in previous classes that amino acid is the basic building unit of a protein. So what they will do? Pepsin will break down the protein and convert it into peptidase. So for this process, we need the acidic medium so that this hydrochloric acid will convert the food medium into acidic. Protecting our stomach wall from the action of hydrochloric acid, we have a mucus. Mucus is like it's a gel. Okay, what they will do when the hydrochloric acid is produced, this mucus also will get produced. So that this mucus will act like a protective layer in our stomach. So this hydrochloric acid will not be able to get direct contact with our stomach wall. So we can avoid the corrosion of our stomach wall. This happening in the stomach. Okay, in stomach you have to remember we have hydrochloric acid with a pH value of 1.5 to 3.5. They will convert the food medium into acidic for digestion of protein with the help of an enzyme called pepsin. And they will kill harmful bacteria and they will break down hard food particle into simple particle. Mucus, what you have to remember? Mucus, we have to remember that it will protect our stomach. Okay, it will protect our stomach from the action of hydrochloric acid. Pepsin, you have to remember it's an enzyme and it will break down the protein. Remember here, pepsin will act only in the acidic medium. Only in the acidic medium, this pepsin will act and they will convert protein into peptidase. Now, after this, this food will become a semi-fluid mixture. Before we called it as from mouth, we called it as bolus. Okay, bolus was moving through the esophagus. Now here, this semi-fluid mixture, we will call it as chyme. Now this chyme will move to the next part called a small intestine. So between this, we have a sphincter muscles. Okay, this time they will allow only a small amount of food to pass to the small intestine. Here already we have we got a carbohydrate. Here we got a protein. Next we have the small intestine. Small intestine is the longest tube and it is the final site for the digestion. All the food particle is getting digested in the small intestine. Clear? Now here in small intestine we will get a secretion from the liver and pancreas. Along now we'll see what and all are the key secretion and their function. First we have the liver. Liver will produce a bile juice. Okay, it containing the bile salt. What they will do is they will break down the fat molecule into simple fat molecule. Okay, what they will do? They will break down the fat molecule into simple fat molecule. And already in stomach, okay, already in stomach, this hydrochloric acid is converted the food medium into acidic medium. So next, first one is breaking down of fat molecule into simple. Second one is converting into acidic into base medium or alkaline medium. Okay, the bile juice is with the liver. Now it's containing bile salt. And remember, there is no enzymes in the bile juice. What they will do? They will break down the fat molecule into simple fat molecule and convert the acidic medium into basic medium or alkaline environment. Now here, it's an example. Like, you know, if you are applying oil in your hand, directly if you are washing with water, it won't go properly. Okay, so what we will do? We will use a soap. When we are using soap, this oil molecule is converting into or breaking down into simple molecules. These simple molecule easily we can wash out with the help of water. Same way, this fat is not able to digest directly or break down directly. So this bile juice or bile salt will break down into simple molecule, and after that with the help of enzymes we can break down. Now this process of converting fat molecule into simple fat molecule with the help of bile juice is called emulsification. Okay, that we will call it as emulsification. This process we will call it as emulsification. Clear? So emulsification is an important question for your exam. What is emulsification? We are converting complex fat molecule into simple fat molecule with the help of bile, salt or bile juice. So that remember. Now next we have a pancreas. Pancreas will produce pancreatic juice. It containing two enzymes. One is trypsin, another one is lipase. Okay, this trypsin will break down the protein and lipase will break down the fat molecule. Already fat is converted into simple molecule. That simple fat molecule is digested with the help of lipase. So that's what the function of pancreas. Now this small intestine, it's having intestinal juice and they will produce some enzyme that will complete the digestion in the small intestine. Okay, intestine, they will produce intestinal juice, and they will complete the digestion by converting carbohydrate into glucose, protein into amino acid, fat into fatty acid, after that glycerol. Now I hope here this one is clear. Now absorption of nutrients. Okay, this absorption of nutrients is happening with the help of villi. Okay, absorption of nutrients is happening with the help of villi. Now these villis are present in the walls of small intestine. If you are seeing this is a cross section of small intestine, we can see on the walls a lot of tiny finger-like projection. This tiny finger-like projection, we will call it as villis. Now these villi, what they will do, they have a lot of blood vessels so that they will get a lot of blood. So when the digestion is happening, these villis will increase their surface area. They will increase their surface area so that all the nutrients or food components will be absorbed by the villi and transferred to the blood. They will give to the blood or lymphatic system. So that after that, this blood will provide everything to our food and they will move to the cells for the cell repairing function or creating new cells or using for other basic functions. Okay, so microvilli or villi, you have to remember, it's a finger-like projection that is present in the walls of small intestine. They will increase the surface area and they will absorb all the nutrients. A usual question for the exam, why the herbivores have a longer intestine? If you are seeing herbivores, they will eat plants. Okay, they will eat only plants. Now, plants have a cell wall. These cell walls are made up of one complex carbohydrate called cellulose. Okay, so for digesting the cellulose, it's very hard. It will take time. So for that purpose, they have the longer intestine. But if you are seeing the carnivores, those who will eat meat, these meat are easy to digest. So they have a shorter small intestine, like tiger, lion and all. If you are seeing herbivores, we have a cow or rabbit and all as an example. See the large intestine. Large intestine is the final section in the alimentary canal. If you are seeing alimentary canal, we will tell it is starting from the mouth to the anus. Okay, this complete section we will call it as a alimentary canal. Now this large intestine, what they will do, they don't have the digestion is happening in the large intestine. What they will do is they will absorb the excess amount of water and salt from the undigested food. And they will convert the undigested food into solid feces. And they will expel this waste to the body. Okay. Now, this is the chart for enzyme. It's a digestive site where this digestion is happening. What are the enzymes and what is the targeted food component? If you know this, it's easy to write it. Mouth, we have the salivary amylase. Salivary amylase is we are getting from the saliva and the saliva is produced with the help of salivary glands. This salivary amylase, they will break down the carbohydrate into simple. They will break down into simple sugar. Okay, they will break down into simple sugar. Stomach, we have pepsin. Remember, pepsin will act only in the acidic medium. For that, we have the hydrochloric acid. And they will convert a protein into peptides. Small intestine, we have a pancreas and a liver. But liver, they don't have any enzyme. Liver, they don't have any enzyme. They have a salt, bile salt, for breaking down the complex fat into simple fat. And that process, we will call it as emulsification. Now, pancreas will provide two enzymes, trypsin and lipase. Trypsin will break down the protein, lipase will break down the fat molecule.